Am I live now? Am I live now? Why is it so laggy? Just waiting to see if I'm actually live. Am I live or not? Why is it so laggy? No, we're good. Right? I want to hear myself talk again. This is so... Why is it so laggy? Okay, whatever. I think I am live. If I'm not, screw it. I'll just talk into the void. Why is nothing loading? My OBS is like really glitching out. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, it says excellent connection on my YouTube. Okay, well, technical difficulties, awesome. Something's gotta be off. I don't understand. Okay, whatever. I think we're good though. So, welcome back. Alright. We had our dip today. We did not rise as expected. We had some disappointing news, I guess. Well, people were disappointed with the outcome after the president of the United States and China's meeting in South Korea did not meet people's expectations, and immediately after I finished my stream last night, everything just dropped. Okay, cool. So where do we go from here? This is what we're up against next. So trend is flipped. We have now a downtrend on Bitcoin. Resistance on that is 117,431. And the current price is 108,634. I've got my entries already in. I think I purchased this one last night, and I bought some more. No, when did I buy this? Yeah, I bought that one last night. I dropped my average price as much as I could, and had another trigger order at 104,000, which is where I was expecting a worst case scenario bounce. Seems like that level was actually 106,000. I did not see that coming. It's fine though. I didn't really buy the exact dip, but I was close enough, and that's all that really matters, in my opinion, in my books here. So that's fine. 109,900 is my average entry, basically 110,000. We have since then recovered. We actually hit a local top at 109,990, so I barely saw positive for a moment there. This is weird. My OBS is looking weird, but fine. And we are now here. So what's next? There's no real reason for us to be dropping, honestly. I keep saying this, I know, but we'll be discussing. We have some news to talk about, of course. We will talk about the actual outcome between Trump and Xi Jinping, the meeting that they had in South Korea. We have just general crypto sentiment that I want to have a look at, basically confirming my thoughts of there's no real reason for us to be dropping. We'll be discussing that. A lot of updates from banks, ETFs, things like that we'll be discussing. And I think that's it, right? Oh yeah, earnings from multiple stocks that we will be discussing. Some of them related to crypto, some related to tech. Nothing too out of the ordinary. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys subscribe. Let's get into it. So yeah, that's what we have for this Bitcoin price action. I do expect, I mean, if we do continue dropping, to be around 104,000 around this area. I already have a trigger order set up there in the event that we do see the price drop down there. We only have one real day left in this week, Friday, in terms of volatility, so I wouldn't expect nothing too crazy to happen. And then Saturday, Sunday, of course, we're expecting low volatility on those days as well. So, all right. We're on the right track, though. 109,000 we just broke. Let's see if we can finally just keep it up from here. Hopefully this is just indeed the bottom and we, you know, bounce back up again to where we belong, because I feel like this is just undeserved. Powell's comments hurt us, and also, you know, the super trend was already getting weaker and weaker every time we poked below it. And ultimately, we finally closed multiple times below that. So that caused the flip in this super trend to be toward the downside now. Meaning that we're technically in a downtrend, but I don't think it will be for too long, hopefully. The way to read this one would be from basically our all-time high, drawing a point from here to our local tops right close over here. So the downtrend on Bitcoin right now is looking a little like that. Supertrend says that it invalidates after we break 117,000, but I expect this number to drop much lower, especially if we like oscillate around this region for the duration of the weekend. We could see this super trend kind of come back down a little. How low, I'm not too sure yet. It's too early to tell. I mean, it originally started off at whatever this number is, 118,500, and it's dropped to 117,400. So in just a matter of hours, it can drop 1,000. So I would expect this to be a little bit much lower around this area. I don't know, 104, 115 maybe. We'll see. Could be where this resistance was, which pivots accurately predicted we would top at 116,000. We hit that level twice, but we were not able to break past it. So I would say maybe that would be the real resistance, 116,000. So we'll see how that plays out. It's going to take some time. I entered a lot of positions, you'll notice. I know I got a little loose-handed when it came to finding entries. I basically entered everything I was entered into before. This is like the next dip after the dip that we had, like the October 10 crash where everything got liquidated. I thought, you know what, this is my chance to re-enter the projects that I firmly believe in and would like to see them succeed. So ultimately that is what I did. Well, except for Ethereum here is the outlier, but whatever. I purchased Ethereum at 3,794. I'm so used to saying Bitcoin's prices. We actually dipped to a low of 3,677. We have since recovered to now 3,833 and on the way up. Resistance for Ethereum, it's currently looking at 3,950, maybe even 4,000, of course, psychologically. But trend is also flipped to the negative for Ethereum, unfortunately. But the resistance coincides all the way up here with a local top that we hit at 4,230, 4,250 around this area. That's where super trend is. That's where resistance 1 is from pivots. And that's where we topped out locally as well, which I took profit around that area too. So, yep, we'll see. This was a good opportunity. I saw Ethereum being oversold, decided to enter. We'll see how it goes. All these entries, most of them, are from oversold positions. I'm deciding to just enter based off of that. Hyperliquid actually didn't suffer that much. Look at this. So we topped at 50.08 right before the drop, and we dropped to this level, this pivot level, $43.45. The lowest point we actually hit was 4,000. Oh my gosh, what am I saying? $42.67. And we're just perfectly encapsulated in this cube that I drew from like the beginning of the week. This is purely coincidental. I'm not a genius. It just happened to follow the price action quite closely. I don't know if we'll be able to maintain ourselves in here for too long, especially as we close out the week. So, I mean, if we do continue seeing negative sentiment, you could expect Hyperliquid around $40. We weren't really oversold at this drop when we dropped to 42. So I'm expecting by 40 we will be oversold, and that's where I will plan to enter. So for now, nothing yet. I already entered down over here at 35, took profit at 45. I'm waiting for the next entry. It's going to be around 40, hopefully. I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully everything just skyrockets to the moon, am I right? But not everything can be like that. Solana, on the other hand, I don't like all these lines. So, I mean, it helped kind of... I slept on Solana, didn't I? I did not look at Solana today. So I guess I missed some entries. It did fill this order over here at 186. I would have preferred something better. I had 180 marked from Fibonacci retracements, but I think that was just way too many lines, so I probably just ignored it. I reinforced my position at 192, I think, and then, or 191, I think. Yeah, 191. And then we continued dropping, and I entered another position at 186, which now averages out my entry to 188 on Solana, and I've got a decent amount in there, so I'm content with that. Resistance on Solana. Well, we're now using this downtrend that luckily I have not deleted. I will delete the old one, however, the one that we did break before. So this is the one that we were paying attention to now. It's looking like it invalidates at 213. If we can break 213 and above, 214 maybe, then, you know, things will be better. Is everything all right? My OBS is looking really strange. I don't know if this is like really working. I assume it is. Yeah, I think it is. Just hear myself talk there. On Solana, we dropped to a low of 178. I did have another order all the way down here though, but we didn't really fill it. We were oversold, so yeah, 178 would have been the perfect entry. Oh well. 172 is where I had this order, which did not get filled. Okay, that's fine. I probably averaged out a local low, this one, with Fibonacci, which I just deleted. No, I don't think I did. What did I do? Don't remember. It's fine though. I'm fine with where we are with Solana, and if we do continue dropping 172, I'll gladly buy that. BitTensor, have we dropped enough yet? No. We dropped to 388. Okay. Oh, I thought it was said like 288. I was thinking of like this entry at 300 that I had over here. Yeah, it still didn't get filled, and even with this drop today, holding strong, BitTensor did not become oversold. So that's good. If you were already in BitTensor, I missed my chance long ago, so I'm just watching it rise without me, which is fine. Let it do its thing. I decided to be risky a little bit over here. I purchased Plasma. Bought it on this drop at basically 30. I kind of predicted we would be dropping to around 30 because I was saying like there's no... This is uncharted territory. Don't know how low we can go over here. We might even look at the support is what I said at 29.31. I woke up this morning and I saw it at 30. I'm like, you know what? I'll just buy it. It's oversold, so we'll just do it. A small entry. That is not... No, that is not... Okay, I thought that was the small entry. Okay, 500. That's what I entered. Which is not too bad. We're kind of on the way back up. Saw a little bit of green, but... you know, still fighting to keep our head up above the waters. And Plasma's downtrend invalidates at 37. So we still got a long way to go. Current price is 29.97, almost 30, right? And my entry's 30.42. So not too far off. Looks okay. And I do plan on keeping that for very short-term trading. Sui, I bought some more. I bought this dip at 242, and then I bought this one at 229. This has dropped my average price now to 237. The current price is 231. We did truly become oversold. Right over here, should have put a trigger order at 220. Once again, I missed the train. That would have absolutely gotten filled and would have been legendary. But this is still a fine entry in my opinion, 237. Guys, I was crying for not buying Sui at $3.10 and seeing it rise to almost $4. This is free Sui at 237 or whatever is it right now. 232, well, let's just say. Come on. I think you guys understand. Chainlink. It did the drop, finally. And... yeah, we were approximately oversold, but not as perfect over here. Didn't really get the snipe on the trade, but still entered nonetheless. The price is at 17 right now, which is where I put my entry. So I'm basically neutral on this trade. Next order was at 1564, which did not get filled. It didn't drop that low. We dropped to a low of 1631. And we're since recovered to 17, as I said. So, negative funding rate, by the way. Barely, though. Yep, I'm okay with Chainlink. That's fine. Buying it at these prices, totally cool. Why does it show that I bought over here? 1637. Where did I sell? Are you lying to me? Where did I sell Chainlink? Why does it say that I just bought and then I didn't sell? Link. No, it's not over here. Are you lying to me? 1637. When did this happen? When did I sell it? It doesn't say when I sold it. I'm looking at the right charts, right? USDC, yes. Change the dates. No, this would have happened in October. Right? Orders, or trade history rather. Let me go to USDC again. Chainlink. I bought at 1695. This says 1673. What? I'm assuming it's that one, though. October 30. This is 17th of October. What? 17th of October. Chainlink. I bought at 1673. When did these happen? When did I close out? Or do I just have all those chain links together right now? I don't think I do. Here. Did I buy that amount? Okay, that's the one that I just bought today. 1695 and then 1673. Why would I buy above my average price? I should have sold, right? Am I missing something here? I'm so confused. Whatever. Might have gotten scammed, but that's fine. I'm generous like that. Aptos, it also had its drop and flipped its uptrend down to a downtrend again. So this is the one that we're paying attention to. This one can go bye-bye. We dropped to actually this low over here. Why didn't I buy this dip? Why am I sleeping over here? I should have. I think I only bought this one over here at, yeah, 319. Oh, it was averaged out between all these. So that's where my entry is right now. Yeah, I should have had the order at 306. Ugh, so many missed opportunities here on these dips. But whatever. We're still in the green with Aptos, up $47. 319 is my entry. 324 is the current price. We are at a support, previously support, now will become resistance. So if we are able to break that, we could look at 341 next. Downtrend invalidates at 371, so we still got a long way to go. This was a good trade, by the way, on Aptos. See, I got the buy and sell flag over here. I don't see this for Chainlink. What happened? I have the buy notice, but where did I sell? Unless I sold right over here at the same time, it should tell me though. Liars. Alright, it's fine though. I also bought Sonic. It's at historical lows, so I'm like, you know what? I'll buy the fact that it is oversold. I'll just buy into it and see what happens. Cardano was also really oversold, so I decided to buy at 60 cents or 61. Current price is almost 61. We're almost there. We did drop to a low of 58 with Cardano though. But I'm expecting a bounce nonetheless. These are just short-term bounces that I'm trying to trade. Compound I talked about in other streams. World Liberty Finance should have gotten out of it, but whatever. I'm too late once again. Not really oversold, so no real opportunity for entry. I do have limit orders down here though. Yeah, we'll see if they ever do get filled. And that's all. All right. I can't tell what's going on. My OBS has just crashed, but it still seems to, be working. YouTube seems to receive all the signal. So that's fine. We'll move on to our news section. Get ready. Trump and Xi Jinping end their meeting after less than 2 hours. It was during the time that we were streaming last night. So I was trying to cover live updates, but there were no live updates other than, a couple of comments that were made, but nothing in terms of resolutions, right? All right. There were 90 minutes inside a nondescript military building. There were 2 handshakes outside. Xi's motorcade pulls away. Trump heads to Air Force One. There was no breakthrough announced. Both sides needed this optic. Leaders meeting, shaking hands, looking serious. The actual substance, it was coming later, maybe. Trump is heading home, and Xi Jinping is staying for APEC theatrics. And this is what people saw, and that is why, after my stream, of course, concluded, that's when the meeting concluded, and that's when everything started dropping overnight. Because people were looking at this and were like, it's nothing. They didn't achieve nothing, they didn't discuss nothing, at least not that we know of yet. Right? Media was locked out at that time, so nobody was getting much updates. Until after. We do have an update though, right now. The US and China have reached a 1-year trade deal on rare earths and critical minerals to be renegotiated annually. The United States is cutting certain tariffs on China. It will be fentanyl-related tariffs that will be lowered to 10% immediately. Overall, the US tariffs on Chinese goods will be reduced from 57% to 47%. China will discuss easing chip export restrictions with Nvidia. There will be no more obstacles on rare earth trade, according to Trump. That was a big issue as to why we were putting tariffs on them in the first place. The US and China will collaborate on the Ukraine situation. I'm assuming this means, hey, China, don't buy Russian oil. And President Xi Jinping will be visiting the US, and Trump plans to visit China as well in 2026 April. That's a long time from now, and we know how fast these meetings can either be scheduled or rescheduled or even canceled for that matter. So I take all that with a grain of salt. On a scale of 0 to 10, says Trump, I would say that the meeting with President Xi was a 12. And he later confirmed that in an audio. So yeah, basically just covered all this. A trade deal appears to be coming next. That's the hopium that we've gotten from this whole scenario so far. And frankly, that's why I think we don't really deserve this drop over here. Yeah, I mean, it was a red day for most stocks as well for the US markets, but I feel like overall, like, we should continue bouncing. There's no reason for us not to be bouncing. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says China agreed to buy 12 million metric tons of soybeans this year. Don't know why they need that much. Probably for their foods, right? They like soy sauce, I think. And Trump posted this huge wall of text. Look at that. Doesn't this make you dizzy? All right, stop doing that. He posted this saying he just got back from Asia, where I met the leaders of many countries, including China, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, Australia, Canada. Hey, didn't you say you were not there to meet Canada? Anyway, New Zealand, Singapore, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and others. It was a great honor to meet them, but more particularly to see that America is respected again, respected like never before. Great trade deals were made, long-term relationships now exist, and money is pouring into our country because of tariffs and, frankly, the landslide results of the 2024 presidential election. The one question that kept coming up, however, was how did the Democrats shut down the United States of America, and why did the powerful Republicans allow them to do it? I want to discuss this a little bit. Just on a huge side note over here, big tangent, get ready. My X algorithm has been flooded with liberal content now. I'm getting a lot of Democrat stuff. I don't know, I did start following some Democratic accounts just to, see what they're discussing, and they don't know what they're doing. I'm just going to give you my honest review on that. They just keep reposting the same lies. If you follow the Democrat Twitter account, literally like at Democrats or whatever it is, it's literally the same thing every day. Mike Johnson, this random person won an election a couple days ago. We're waiting for you to do your job. Or the Republicans control the House, they control the Senate, they control the White House. This is the Republicans' shutdown. And then you look at the replies and everybody's saying, well, you guys are clearly lying because they require, 60 or 50 something votes to pass. And you guys are the reason why the votes is not passing to end the government shutdown. That kind of stuff. Or like, okay, we're not going to spend taxpayer money on illegal healthcare, illegal alien healthcare, not illegal healthcare. Just that. And there was also updates put out by Elon Musk to the X algorithm, which a lot of people, I'm seeing negative reviews on it as well. We're seeing stuff that we kind of don't want to see or we disagree with, kind of a deal. But I also I'm okay with it. I don't mind it too much. I just know to like laugh it off, in my opinion. But I don't know. I don't want it to be an echo chamber is basically what I'm thinking. And I am just noticing like at one point I was getting a lot of posts on Twitter about like Aster. We talked about. There was another period of time where it was all just, I don't know, some like this random niche specific coin, I'd just be getting multiple back to back to back posts about it all the time. And then I'm like, okay, well, what is this? And it's because of the new X algorithm that got updated, which Elon Musk said it would be focusing more on niche subjects that you seem to be interested in. Didn't really work out in my opinion. Now I'm getting a lot of Solana posts filling up my feed. And yeah, frankly, I do have some news to talk about with Solana. But yeah, anyways, that was a huge side note. Back to the post from Trump. The fact is, in flying back, I thought a great deal about the question, why? Majority Leader John Thune and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson are doing a great job, but the Democrats are crazed lunatics that have lost all sense of wisdom and reality. It's a sixth form of the now legendary Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, that only comes from losing too much. They want trillions of dollars to be taken from our healthcare system and given to others who are not deserving. People who have come into our country illegally, many from prisons and mental institutions. This will hurt American citizens, and Republicans will not let it happen. It is now the time for Republicans to play their Trump card. Funny. And we'll go for what is called the nuclear option. Get rid of the filibuster and get rid of it now. Just a short while ago, the Democrats, while in power, fought for 3 years to do this, but were unable to pull it off because of Senators Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Kristen Sinema. Okay, who cares about this? Never the Democrats fought so hard to do something because they knew the tremendous strength that terminating the filibuster would give them. I don't even know what filibuster is, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, this is all just political mumbo jumbo. We are in power. We are doing what we should be doing. Would immediately end this ridiculous country-destroying shutdown. If the Democrats ever came back into power, which would be made easier for them if the Republicans are not using the great strength and policies made available to us by the end, the Democrats will exercise their rights, and it will be done in the first day they take office, regardless of whether or not we do it. Okay, it's just ranting on about the Democrats, I guess. Yeah, I'm not reading the rest of it, but cool. Nothing specific to Xi Jinping talked about in this post. And Trump is now back. He did the thing again. He's handing out Halloween candy to kids with costumes, and in 2019 he put some chocolate bars or something on the top of a costume of a kid dressed up as a minion, and he did the same thing this year. So there you go. Yeah, this will go down in the history books, I'm sure. Anyway, so we got everything we wanted. This is another thing that I'm seeing. Multiple posts talking about the same thing over here, and I'll be showing you all of them. People talking about, we got everything we wanted. We got a 25 basis point rate cut. We got Trump and Xi Jinping, friends again. China will be buying our soybeans. A tariff threat seems almost non-existent. We're getting Solana and Hyperliquid ETF soon. Why are we dropping? We got the Fed rate cuts, US-China deal, quantitative tightening to end, altcoin staking ETF approval. We got everything, yet markets are even lower. What is going on? Serious question nobody's asking. Crypto bros got everything they wanted in 1 year. A crypto-friendly president, strategic Bitcoin reserve, the SEC being softer toward crypto projects, the firing of Gary Gensler, rate cut, end of QT, ETFs continuously buying more crypto ETFs, MicroStrategy buying like 500k plus. He's got 700k. 600k, sorry. Even US had friendship with China now. Gold and equity wrapping up heavily. Global money supply all-time high. All global markets are near all-time high. Still, why are we not pumping? Where did we go wrong? If everyone is buying, then who is dumping? So that's basically what we're seeing for what everyone is seeing. If BlackRock, Wall Street, Michael Saylor, US government, and other nation states, millionaires, billionaires, and 235 plus companies are all buying Bitcoin, then why is the price going down? And that's where I come in and say, good, let it come down. Whoever's suppressing the price, if that is the case at all, you should be taking advantage of this opportunity, not financial advice. And I'm trying to load up as much as I can as well. You know what? I forgot about, oh my gosh, my phone was not even charging. That's not good. I'm going to buy more Bitcoin on spot by taking out more of a loan, going more in debt. I have a job, so I will be able to cover for the debt no worries. It's just I need the money right now to buy Bitcoin, and I think I will. I will do this after the stream. I'm not going to go on my phone right now to do the whole transactions, but you get the point. All right. There's even people pricing in a 61% chance of Bitcoin falling below $100,000 before 2026, according to Polymarket. Yeah, that can happen on December 31st. I'm fine with that, but not... Come on, we still got to do our 150k plus Bitcoin. Right, guys? Come on. All right. Here's the Solana bull posting that I'm seeing all across Twitter. They rang the New York Stock Exchange closing bell today. Whatever that does. I don't think there's nothing crucial about it. Sure, it gives them like media publicity and all that, but really it's not a big deal in my opinion. But there you go. Solana is quietly becoming the third pillar of crypto ETFs. Analysts are now projecting US Solana spot ETFs could attract up to $5 billion in inflows over the next 2 years, a level that would cement Solana alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum as one of crypto's institutional cornerstones. I do have a feeling that Solana will be a better ETF compared to Bitcoin. I mean, not Bitcoin, but Ethereum. Like, between the two, I think Solana would be a better performer. Obviously, Solana will perform better in terms of returns, rate of returns. It's got a lesser market cap than Ethereum does, so it's got more potential to grow. I'm sure their tokenomics are the same, infinite max supply, right? But it's all driven by institutions and, you know, people using the blockchain of it, apps, dApps, whatever the case may be. So, I mean, just look at memes, literally memes. People would rather use Solana's blockchain for memes. Pump.fun, it's so easy to use, right? And the ETFs, we already saw what happened with Grayscale there. They don't have too much Solana to dump on us, so that's a good sign. When the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs came out from Grayscale, they had lots of that, and they dumped lots of that throughout time. But, you know, Solana, that's probably not going to be the case, and Grayscale's ETF for Solana is already out. I wonder if they've bought or sold. They probably sold. I wouldn't be surprised, but hold on, I clicked on the wrong thing. Because today is just a down day in general. Oh no, look at that. They inflowed $1 million and 800k. That's not too bad. And Bitwise is doing a good job as well with the inflows. So far a total of 152 million, and in total combined with the two of them is 155 million. So that's not too bad. The rollout is already looking strong. Bitwise's BSOL launched with nearly $130 million in trading volume, while Grayscale's GSOL ETF added another $4 million on its day one. It's been a long climbing from meme coin jokes to mainstream adoption, but Solana's fundamentals, speed, scale, uptime, are financially lining up with institutional demand, and that's why I agree that Solana is probably the better option. Sure, there are better options than Solana, but that's like really niche, like Sui, like Aptos, like Sonic, right? If even a fraction of that projected $5 billion flows in, Solana won't be just the Ethereum alternative. It'll be the third pillar holding up crypto's next ETF wave. And yeah, I agree with that. Speaking of Sui, EA co-founder Bing Gordon, can't believe that's a real name. He's known for titles such as, you know, The Sims and The Lord of the Rings. He has joined the Sui Foundation as an advisor. Cool, so we have the EA money-hungry, you know, company involved in Sui. Say, another cryptocurrency, also potentially Solana killer, but I don't even think it's that good. Like, Sui's better than Say, in my opinion. They're now live on the Robinhood app. You can now trade Say directly on Robinhood. Say what? That's funny. Cool. So they're there. And yeah. I'm pretty sure I had one more thing to talk about and it's just gone. Okay, whatever. Michael Saylor says that the banks will soon become Bitcoiners. He says major US banks are preparing to buy, sell, custody, and lend against Bitcoin by the first half of 2026. If that's true, that's a lot of money. That'll be great for them, great for Bitcoin, and great for us. So it's not just ETFs this time, it's actual banks touching Bitcoin is what Michael Saylor is projecting over here. We're seeing that slowly roll out. MasterCard will be acquiring a crypto startup company called Zero Hash for nearly $2 billion. JP Morgan CEO admits he was wrong and that crypto is real. And we already kind of knew about this. Jamie Dimon always talking bad about Bitcoin, but then, you know, his bank is just silently loading up on it, the JP Morgan chase. Yeah, and then of course prices are still dropping. That's ironic, I know. The Nordic bank, Nordea, from Norway, will be offering Bitcoin ETFs to its customers starting in December. They're taking a step in the right direction. Nordea previously banned all employees from owning Bitcoin in June, though. So, like I said, banks are converting. They are starting to see the power of crypto, and they're starting to adopt it. Canary Capital files updated S1 for its XRP spot ETF. Similar deal to what with what we covered yesterday with another crypto token, which removes the delaying amendment to enable auto-effective registration with a launch date set for November 13. November 13 XRP spot ETF. There you go. Because they're removing the factor that causes it to be delayed all the time. Especially with the new blueprint that the SEC has already come out with for crypto ETFs. And it's because of the government shutdown, honestly. That's why I want it to end. That way we just have our ETFs being rolled out left, right, and center. We are still getting some because, I don't know, I think it's just, I don't know the real reason. The SEC is supposed to be closed. Who is approving them? I'm pretty sure they're like partially open or something. Something's got to be happening, right, during this shutdown. So yeah. On to stocks. I know I don't talk much about stocks, but we did have lots of earnings that are unignorable today. I opened the wrong thing. TradingView. We're going to be looking at Apple dropping 5% despite beating its estimates. I've talked about like why stocks go down even though their earnings are okay, right? This number is green. Well, they're on the rise. They did drop to 261 though from 272 and reached a high of 284, 285 almost, and we're currently at 277. That's the last recorded price that we have over here. I'm not going to read all these numbers. But iPhone 16, 17 models, growth expected. That's kind of what we're seeing here. MicroStrategy had their earnings and they beat expectations in Q3. That's a rare occasion for MicroStrategy to beat their expectations. Because usually, I mean, we did have it beat once before, but before that, it's been red earnings all the time, basically. Ever since February 2024, every quarterly earnings that they've reported, it's been red and red and red. But it didn't really matter because MicroStrategy just follows the price movement of Bitcoin. I think I gotta get rid of this Fibonacci. It's way too old. All this technical analysis I've been doing here. By the way, if you care, 250 looks like a good entry on MicroStrategy if we are able to catch it there. This downtrend needs to be adjusted. And I think I bought this dip. I think I did. I bought this dip today. And we got good earnings, so we are now on the rise. Cool. Good for MicroStrategy. The company holds 640,000 Bitcoins, $47 billion worth, with an average price of 74K per Bitcoin. It's not too bad. Coinbase. Did they also have their earnings? I think they did. They did. And it was good earnings overall. They said that they bought $299 million worth of Bitcoin in Q3. I'll talk about Amazon in a second. It seems like we're kind of on the rise after dropping, of course, before this. So Coinbase should be good. I don't remember. Did I buy Coinbase? I think I did. I did in the Canadian version. Where though? I don't know where my average entry is. I didn't write it down. But it's probably like already low over here. I would expect myself to do that. Anyway, so good for Coinbase. They're also, Brian Armstrong also confirmed like, yep, we're constantly buying Bitcoin. We will continue buying Bitcoin. So that's good. Amazon surges over 9% after posting stronger than expected Q3 2025 earnings. It seems like Amazon Web Services going down did not affect the company at all. And are we at all-time highs? We are not. Or maybe it doesn't show here. What was the number? 252, 255? Oh yeah, that's definitely an all-time high. It just doesn't show here yet because the next day candle has not yet opened, but Amazon will be opening at around over here, which that is an all-time high. Good for Amazon. And do I have Amazon? I do, so I will be selling tomorrow. Since I missed... No, I didn't miss. Oh, wait, what? Hold on. This is confusing to look at. Yeah, I missed selling it over here. And I was repenting of like not having sold over here. But I think tomorrow morning I'll have a good shoot up in the price like that. And I will be selling on my tax-free savings account. It's not a lot. It just trades like small dollars in there just for fun. But yeah, I should be trading larger amounts. I do have the ability to in a tax-free savings account. I have this if you are in Canada and if you do care about this tax-free savings account, you basically put in like what year, get out of here. You put what year you were born in. I was born in 01. How much have you contributed in total? I think it's maybe 2,500. Let's put 3 grand, sure. And how much have you withdrawn? This affects, of course, how much you would have for contributing, right? Before 2025 and during 2025. I haven't withdrawn anything ever from my tax-free savings account. I've lost a lot, but I'm not going to withdraw, because if you withdraw, that's just permanently going to decrease your contribution limit. So if I withdrew the 2,000, let's say that I lost, my contribution limit would be 39,500, for example. For the next year, like it's going to be $2,000 less because I permanently lost that amount. But it could go both ways. Like if you make more and you withdraw the amount of money that you made in profit, you can recontribute that same amount of money in there as well. So it can increase your contribution limit in that sense if you plan on recontributing at a future date. So for this year, I could drop 41,500 in the tax-free savings account and trade with all that. The only issue with a tax-free savings account, I've heard stories, is if the Canada Revenue Agency catches you trading every day or like very actively, they're going to think you're like a business or something like that. And they'll just charge you regular taxes on all of your trades, on all your profits. And it's like, okay, Buster, so what's the point of a tax-free savings account then? I don't know. I got to do more research on it. And there's like no real like specific, there's no details, right, as to this is what constitutes you trading as a business. If you meet this criteria, then that means we're going to be revoking your rights under the tax-free savings account rules, whatever the case may be. Like there's no clear guidelines as to how much you're able to trade or how frequent, that kind of stuff. So yeah, anyways, all up to speculation. Good, all-time high for Amazon though. That's good. Netflix also announced that they will be having a split, a 10-for-1 stock split that will be coming up soon. NFLX. They're surging on the news. It basically costs 1,123. If they're having a 10-for-1 split, you just move the decimal point 1 point to the left, which means their new price would be $112 and 30 or 70, whatever the cents are based on the current value, and the shares are going up for that. It doesn't really change anything fundamentally. It's just like ease of access, I would say, right? It's easier for you to buy one share of Netflix at $100 than it is for you to buy a share of Netflix at 1,000. The amount of shares, though, they do change, right? Those will be, I got to get this math right, they will be multiplied by 10 while the price gets divided by 10. That's how it works. Because if you currently own one share of Netflix at 1,123, by the time the split happens, you will, instead of owning one share that costed 1,100, you will now own 10 shares that cost $100 each, which is the same value. Like, nothing really changes. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's how the splits work. So they usually do this, like I say, to make it easier for investors. Like, if you want to just buy one share of Netflix, it's probably simpler to look at it as, oh, it only costs $100 versus, oh, it costs $1,000. That kind of deal. They usually do this when the companies get too big, which that's a good sign usually. If there's a reverse split, that's not a good sign, because, you know, that means the price is dropping so low that we're getting into like pennies territory, and we don't want to see that. We'd rather, you know, see something cost $30 per share rather than like 3 cents per share. Nobody wants to see that. So it goes both ways. And yeah. All right, we ended up Bitcoin at 109,200, kind of on the way back up little by little. Like I said, there's no real reason for us to be dropping. You could say that the meeting was underwhelming, but I don't think the tariffs are coming. And I think that's what matters the most, right? What do you think? All right. Got a lot of positions over here again. I'm well prepared for the alt season if we ever do have one. No, I'm not even that well prepared, to be honest. I still have plenty more to buy. And, you know, if things do continue dropping, I'll just buy more. That's it. No, what are you scared of? No big issues going on here. All right, so that is all for tonight, guys. Thanks so much for sticking through. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something new, of course. And I will see you tomorrow. Same time. All right. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye. OBS sucks. It's not working.